This program is proudly brought to you by PNG Motors, Gazelle International Hotel, and Telecom Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sports Scene. I am your host, Jaylee, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Denzel.
Thank you, Jaylee. Always a pleasure to be back on the show once again. Hi, viewers, and welcome back to another episode of Sports Scene. We have a lovely show for you tonight. Isn't that right, Jaylee?
That's right. Now, on tonight's show, we speak to the POM Softball Association and find out what their biggest challenges are. We also feature a few Taekwondo athletes, and we speak to Garahu Rugby League President Frank Kurum as the GRL heads into the finals. But before all that, let's have Dan here give us a quick recap on what transpired over the weekend.
Thank you so much, Jilly. Now, over the weekend, the women's softball went through their knockouts and they're moving into their finals. Now, that's going to happen over the next weekend. The PMSA preseason went into their round 2 of their preseason, and the Barmundis kick off their tour with a win. And also the under-19 Garmut trial transpired over the weekend also to select their under-19 squad. And the junior championships for tennis also ran through the weekend and ended on Monday. Yes, so that's what happened over the weekend. Moving on to the weekend scorelines. Yes, and starting off with the NRL preseason challenge of week 2, the Roosters defeated the Rabbitohs 46 points to 10. Sharks 12 points defeating the Bulldogs. On Saturday, Storms defeated the Knights. Warriors defeated the Dolphins, and Broncos big score against the Seagulls 40 points to 14. Dragons 34 points against the West Tigers. And on Sunday, Cowboys 36, Raiders 26, and Eels 26 defeating the Titans 16 points. Super Rugby Pacific Round 1. Friday, the Chiefs defeated the Crusaders 33 points 29. The Brumbies 30 points against the Rebels 3 points, big score. Hurricanes, a big score also, 44 points defeating the Force 14. And on Saturday, the Blues defeated the Drewers. The Highlands defeated Moana, and Reds, another good score, 40 points defeating the Warriors 22. Yes, now that concludes our scorelines for the weekend. Now we'll be right back after a break, but stay with us. We're going to begin our show, starting off with what's happening with softball in Port Moresby. We'll be right after this break. Stay with us, please. Now, it's time to talk about softball. Now, softball in the country, they've been experiencing some challenges without their federation and all that. So we had a chance to talk to the associations of Port Moresby at the Bicini Park, the Bicini Softball Diamonds, and they told us a little bit about their challenges and their plans moving forward. So we can expect a comeback from them. So let's take a look at that now. Softball in PNG has seen its fair share of struggles over the past few years. With a soundless national federation after the passing of former PNG softball president Mr. Ralph Tarasomo, associations across the country have strained to keep alive the sport that they love. Last Saturday, during the knockout stages of the Port Moresby Women's Softball competition, we had a chat with the presidents of both the POM Men's and the Women's Association just to give us a heads up on the code's current condition and what's to come.
All right, so currently right now, associations are running their own programs because we don't have a federation in place here. And it's one thing that associations have to come together to actually put an interim committee in place to actually run and facilitate the PNG Softball Federation as it is here.
Since 2019, and then the president passed on in the late Ralph Tarasomo, and it's been like that since, and I think it's up to us, big associations, to maybe take the lead and see if we can move and we have people in that space so we're not missing out on. Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest struggles at the moment, and it's not only Moresby, it's Lay and it's all the other centres as well that have got the same issue. Yeah.
Despite these challenges, both associations have their strategies in place to overcome structural and financial barriers.
Yeah. But within our level, we're doing as much as we can because we are the associations are the ones that hold the place, and we provide the avenue in terms of the competitions where our players come in and participate. So.
Basically, because the last 2 years, 2022 and last year, 2023, we ran 2 successful fundraisers in the corporate slow pitch. It's been a major fundraiser for the POM women's for the last 8 or 9, 10 years now.
With the women's competition drawing near to its end, the men's association is hyping up for their annual season comebacks, starting off with the Corporate Social Sevens tournament, followed by the Fast Five tournament, and of course the most thrilling of them all, the Moneyball tournament that runs through the Easter weekend.
Now, Moneyball that we run is it's an open invitation out to other associations or teams from other centers who can come in and participate in the tournament. Moneyball is all about money. Every run you make, innings you play, number of innings, the number of runs you make per team, you're winning money. We dished out 23,000 last year for the Moneyball tournament, and hopefully this time with sponsors coming on board, we can continue to actually put up more. The funds goes towards clubs to assist them with affiliations to the association, goes towards clubs to purchase equipment for them. So that's how we run that Moneyball competition.
All of these tournaments, combined with the season proper, are also preparations leading up to both associations' participation in international tournaments.
It's a long competition for us, but it's getting our players ready to participate in the Makassar tournament. It's an invitational tournament that they've invited the Port Moresby Women's Football Association and the men's as well to participate, and it's in Indonesia. So we had a team that went over last year, and we intend to continue to do that. To actually, you give something back to the affiliates who come out to play softball. And then you get them to actually, with upskilling the skills and that, you reward them to put them into those tournaments there.
With a clear direction alongside the undying support of the umpiring crew led by Mr. Moses Tolingling and Mr. Andrew Moy, I think it's safe to say that we can expect an even bigger comeback from softball very soon.
There you have it, guys. Some interesting points made by the POM Softball Association. Good to see that they're very passionate about the sport. Now, don't go anywhere. After the break, we talk to Taekwondo athletes. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Scene. Now, Taekwondo is one of the most systematic and scientific Korean traditional martial arts that teaches more than just physical fighting skills. It teaches self-discipline. We caught up with a few Taekwondo athletes where they gave us an insight to the sport and their preparations for the Olympic qualifiers. Three junior athletes in the sport of Taekwondo are back in training for the 2024 year.
Hey, I'm Kevin Kussman. I play Taekwondo. I'm from Central, Milne Bay, Wagga Wagga. Hey, I'm 24 years old.
Hi guys, my name is Amanda Canal. I'm 19, actually turning 20 this year. I'm from Central and New Island and I play Taekwondo minus 53 kg.
Hello everyone, my name is Derek Kussman. I'm 21 years old and I play Taekwondo under 68. And I'm from Central and Gulf.
Taekwondo is a Korean martial art and combat sport involving punching and kicking techniques. It is known to develop force, speed, balance, flexibility, and respect. The trio explained their ultimate love for the sport starts with the self-control trainings it teaches them.
It's great, it's amazing. the sport of taekwondo is actually, like, for me personally, has taught me a lot of things, especially discipline, the virtue, discipline itself. It's really, it's changed my perspective of how I see life and, how I carry myself and conduct myself in everyday basis. So, yeah, Jen is going great.
What I really love about it is the physical side and what taekwondo teaches you. It changes you. Like, it takes you out of a very dark place and it puts you somewhere where you can see a better version of yourself.
For these three, they grew up around taekwondo. Having family members excelling in the sport only encouraged them to try it out.
My biggest inspiration would be my elder brother, Max Kussman. He attended the 2016 Olympic Games at the age of 18. So I'd say that's one of my biggest inspirations.
Kevin is in the midst of preparing for the Olympic qualifiers this April. He visited the Solomon Islands last month, where he trained under the guidance of professional athletes.
We had a 2-week intense training in Solomon. I attended, just student. It was good. We learned a lot. So we came back. Training is going. It's very hard to train without proper facilities, but we're adjusting. We have a training camp end of this month, but that depends if we're sponsored by the Olympic Committee and PNG Sports Federation. Yeah.
He clarifies that Derek will be shadowing him, in a sense that should anything happen to him, Derek is to step in. As for Miss Amanda, she began her training in KVN in 2021.
I would love to continue, whether it's being an athlete or being a coach or to contribute anything to the sport. Yeah, I would love to continue doing this. Whoever is interested in taekwondo, you're most welcome to train. And yeah, to the girls, probably in rural areas, will get to watch this. I know that sometimes like customary boundaries that will stop you to participate in this sport, but if you want to do something, go ahead and do it. Definitely anything you do in life, there'll be criticism, but if it's for you, then it's you against you. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, now it's really good to see that our Taekwondo team are preparing well for their upcoming matches. Now, stay with us. After the break, we'll be right back and then we'll go straight into Geruhu Rugby League off-season, where we'll talk to Mr. Frank Kurum, the president of Geruhu Rugby League. And I tell you, these boys can really play. Stay with us. We'll be right after the break. Stay where you are. All right, welcome back to Sportsy. Now, heading over to Geruhu, where we witnessed the knockouts during the Geruhu Rugby League off-season, and we had a chance to speak to the president of Geruhu Rugby League, Mr. Frank Kurum. Let's see what he had to say.
The Geruhu Rugby League competition is into its knockouts round, following a long 10 weeks of intense rugby in the Geruhu suburb of Port Moresby. What started off as a 32-team competition is now down to the top 16 teams.
This week I have knockouts. Next week I'm going to last round knockouts na go semi-final na. Hopefully before school start. Good, I'm finishing grand final.
The GRL has been in formation since 2019 and is an initiative of NCD Governor Power Sparkop's drive to keep our youths fit, healthy, and essentially off the streets.
Past time, 1-1 me running, but now I'm go dance na. Unagi, Tamlo Lokoni 2, 9 mile. Plenty up off season office lo governor, I'm all rolling out. So one kind of blame me lo 2019 me starting.
Mr. Kurum acknowledges Governor Pakop for this initiative and says it keeps the youths around the Gerehu suburb busy, especially during the school holidays.
People are being asked in Bello, Governor, we am like him, Lemlo, keep him all youths busy during Christmas time. I'll be in the stable holiday, Laos, and all keep him all at busy. Play rugby, now focus. Keep him all at healthy, fit. And time to school time, okay, I'll go back again to school.
He says he's absolutely overjoyed that the youths in the Gerehu area participate in their own competition now compared to before, where they would join teams from different areas and play in their respective league competitions. Despite the many encounters the GRL faces, Frank says the Gerehu community are very supportive of this initiative and they assist whenever necessary.
Plenty challenges are come, but me and the community na area mogera also supportive na. Ogera come inside, we will stop on them. We will run him game, we will start him no round one, come finish him ogera normal rounds, come to finals. And plenty challenges are come during all, especially lo finals time. But then we will also Gero police staff, all some folks na dog unit also staff also come down and assist.
Rugby League has been a way out of troubled homes for many youths in PNG, and Mr. Kurum says young people interested in the sport are encouraged to play and make something of themselves.
Sambla plenty mangi all proceed, all go all intercity. Sambla all go through law, pagapendas. Gero league all mangi play lia all come go law, Governor's Cup, Ipotas Cup, all make him wave all go so. Game also Mipla ranim liya o semem initiative lo governor lo keep him all youths busy, but some all man we all focus na all play lab na all let find him pathway dolem all let all make him through na all go na mipla staff support him all mangilo good club lo sem rugby and one la avenue to all mangi losing school all staff nothing or some rugby and good club life lo to something game come laus to all can make him find him carry up lo lab na.
Yes, a very good initiative there by Governor Pakop, just to help get youths off the streets.
Definitely.
Now, what's happening this weekend, Denzel?
I'll tell you what's happening this weekend. NRL is back, people. Let's go, PRU students. Yes, let's begin this weekend previews with the NRL Telstra Premiership Round 1. Let's go. On Sunday, we have the Sea Eagles versus the Rabbitohs. Roosters go up against the Broncos. And on Thursday, Knights versus the Raiders. On Friday, Warriors go up against the Sharks. Titans versus the Dragons, and on Sunday we close off with Dolphins versus the Cowboys with West Tigers on bye. Super Rugby Pacific matches. Friday, Highlanders go up against Blues, Rebels against the Force, and on Saturday, Moana up against the Fijian Brewers, Crusaders versus the Waratahs, and on Sunday, Chiefs go up against the Brumbies, and Hurricanes versus the Reds, which concludes our weekend previews, Ms. Jaylee. That's what we have for the weekend coming up.
Before we go, if you have a sports-related story you'd like us to cover, please contact us on 312-9229, or you can Facebook us, email us, or you can even visit us at our office at Level 2 Garden City in Boroko, here in Port Moresby. Well, that's it for tonight's show. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We'll be here next week, same time, same place.
Yep, and don't forget to hit us up if anything, for any stories or anything relating to sports, we'll be there, definitely. Always a pleasure to have you. We'll be right here again next week, same time, same place, on your number one to watch, EMTV. Peace out from Sports Scene, people. Good night.
This program was proudly brought to you by PNG Motors, Gazelle International Hotel, and Telecom Limited.